Alright y'all, welcome back. This is phase 4 Aprilia. Let's get into it. What's up guys? So it's me talking to you long after I've done all this work, but I didn't really want to bore you guys with walking you through the clip-on install since we've already done that. Basically here I'm correcting, past wrongs. So instead of doing the 0 degree offset, we're doing the clip-on risers. It just works better with the bodywork. The 0 degree will work with the Ghetto Customs bodywork, but it's better to have the risers. It keeps cables from rubbing on the side, and I just don't want to mess with it. But anyways, here, you can see I actually have to measure things, so super fun. Definitely cool doing this again. I hated it, but it had to get done, so we did it. It came out okay. We still have to figure out the brake reservoir situation, but it'll be okay. But as you can see here, it's raised up. The cables don't rub anymore. Everything looks great, except for the reservoir. We have a solution for that, but I'm going to do that off camera. But we got everything installed, and honestly, it feels great. I don't know the difference between the 0 degree and the raised, like on track, but I think the raised will do just fine for our purposes. So, no excuses. We gotta get this bike ready for Jennings. First of all, we got some block off plates, okay? It's for the passenger pegs. That's the wrong side. Nope, that is the right side. Fun fact, we're only going to use one of these because, maybe you can tell by this, I shouldn't have ordered this, but we did anyways. We got, if you couldn't tell by the box, a new exhaust. Hindle. So, and I shouldn't have ordered that other piece because, well, this came with one, so I feel pretty stupid for that, but it's okay. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that one yet. Maybe I'll see if it works, and it looks like it will. But anyways, so this is a Hindle exhaust. It's a full system, of course. You can only buy full systems for these bikes, but unlike the MIV, it's going to come all the way up and rest on the peg. So we got that going for us, which is good because we need that in order to fit the belly pan. But anyways, enough about that. They also sent us a Ducati part. I don't know why. It was a mistake. I didn't order this, but they put it in there anyways. So, cool, I guess. And we got a Puig racing screen that's really tall, much taller than stock, which is good because I don't want the wind hitting my helmet. This wasn't an absolute need, but I figured I'd just go ahead and order it while I was on the site. And then of course we have oil and filters for both bikes because we are bringing both bikes to Jennings. So let's get the new windscreen on here, see how that looks, and cool, let's see what it does. That is nice, dude. I can just feel the wind deflection. Oh yeah. Easiest mod ever. God, what are we, 12? Jesus. Anyways. What's next? Perfect. So, assuming these bolts bottom out, which maybe they will, maybe they won't. If not, we'll run to the hardware store tomorrow. It'll be fine. Well, as you can see, this bottom's out here, so that sucks. We gotta go buy some bolts. I also had to drill these, which doesn't make much sense. I accidentally drilled the wrong one, by the way, because we don't need it on the other side, because that's where the exhaust bracket goes. So anyways, my dumbass, I drilled the wrong one, so whatever. I drilled both. It's kind of weird. They're Evotech. Those things were like $70, dude. They didn't come with new bolts, so I assumed the OEM ones would work, right? And the OEM bolts don't work. And not only that, like, even if I got new bolts, you'd have, like, they'd be the same thread pitch and everything, the same diameter. These bolts did not fit through the holes. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. So if you're gonna buy these, just beware. Evotech, I got them on these people. These are great folk. Yeah, HSBK. Anyways, HSBK is great. Not talking shit about them whatsoever. They answer emails quick. Like, they're awesome. They're awesome people. But if you're gonna buy these, just beware, you know? You're gonna have to drill them out, so they're gonna look a little janky. And then you gotta go buy bolts. Shit don't make no sense, but it's okay. You only need one side, so I only need to go to the hardware store tomorrow and buy 2 bolts that match this thread pitch. So easy enough. But anyways, that sucks. On to the next. All right, next thing, just because it's quick and easy, so I figured we'd do it, is if you have the Robum V2, it bolts right in. You can't see that. It bolts right in to those 2 bolts right there. And there we have it. Looking good. Right, guys, check this out. This is awesome. This is a full Hindle system, and it was relatively inexpensive. And I think it's gonna be really good. Luckily, because this has a MIV on it, 2 things. 1, I can sell the MIV, probably around what I paid for this out of it. And 2, it should be easier to remove this than the full stock system is. So yeah, oh yeah. That was easy. Ooh, there we go. Got our muffler. Something loose in there. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna loosen the bolts that hold the radiator in its place. And by loosen, I'll probably remove them and then let it come forward and hang. Kind of like what I did with the reservoir, where we moved it forward a little bit. I don't think we need to do the side bolts, it's just the main ones holding the radiator up to the frame. And these are 8mm. That helps a lot. I think we might just be able to get away with doing the top 2 to kind of be able to get our wrench in here and pull the headers off. Oh, shit. Oh, that was almost bad. O2 sensor number 1. O2 number 2. Now we can pull out the copper bush, or the copper nuts. Yeah. All right, guys, well, GoPro died, so swap the batteries, but not to worry. The only thing I did in your absence was get all 4 of these off. Low key, it was a little bit of a bitch, but if you have basic hand tools like all this shit, you should be able to do it. Once you crack them loose, you can just kind of finger them off. Honestly, they weren't that tight, so. Nope. Perfect. Just like that. Not bad, not bad. You know, actually, I'm curious if the Hindle, like, mid-pipe would work with the MIV headers. Because if it did, that would piss me off, man. Didn't even have to pull these off. Getting it started off right, just sticking the O2s in there. I put the same side back in the same side of this as it was in the other headers, just because I'm a superstitious motherfucker. And yeah, so these don't move like they do on the MIV headers. So yeah, who knows, but I'm going to stick these back on there, right? And then we'll plug in the O2s, put those back where they're supposed to go. We're gonna tighten the nuts as much as we can, and that way, I wanna put the radiator back together tonight, and all that stuff, because if I wait till tomorrow, I'm not gonna remember jack shit of which bolt goes where, so. Oh, these do move. I thought I was crazy. I was like, these aren't lining up, but these fuckers do move, so. Oh man, I wish they were looser. Jesus Christ. That's gonna be a bitch, but yeah, this one's like close to the right spot, so just gotta keep messing with it, I guess. All right, I got all 4 nuts, sorry, in there. And I'm feeling around in here, and it's not touching the oil pan, but it's really close, so that kind of makes me a little nervous, but I mean, it should be okay, I would think. I think the MIV was just as close, so who knows? But man, I'm gonna tighten these. I'm gonna make sure there's no torque spec, but I don't think there is. Maybe, I don't know, we'll find out. I'll let you know if there is, but I'm gonna tighten these, and then we'll throw the rest of the exhaust on finally. Thank God. All right, all 4 nuts threaded. Found a torque spec. We're going to torque these to 13. Yeah, 13 Newton meters. All right, now I'm grabbing that from the internet. Is it correct? Who the fuck knows? But that's probably tighter than they were on the MIV. Those things were damn near finger loose, so it's gonna be better than it was. I'm gonna take the fan off because I think it'll be easier. One side down. I'm gonna do the other side off camera because you can't really see it, so be right back. All right, guys, well, we got both O2s plugged back in. It's hard to see. This one, I guess the header changed the position of where it's in, so we can't use this clip up here anymore. So I had to loosen this bolt to move the OBD2, the cord out from behind here, so that I could get the length. But thankfully that was even an option, because if I had to order an O2 extender, I was gonna be fucking mad. But anyway, so we're just getting stuff buttoned back up here. I've already got the bolts started on the radiator fan. So I'm gonna tighten these up, and then I'm going to remount the radiator where it needs to go. I've already stuck this back in its place. And yeah, so once we get the radiator back in its place and maybe figure out where this shit's supposed to go, because this fell out and I don't know where the fuck it came from. But honestly, I think it's probably fine. This looks like it's one of these doohickeys right here, you know, holding the cable. So I don't think it's important, but yeah, I will be right back. Just gonna button this up on both sides, and then we're gonna throw the rest of the exhaust on, because that's what we're really here for. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, everything is back in its place. I don't see any loose hardware anywhere, except for this shit, but whatever. We still have this. I don't think this is gonna get used on the new system. And oh, we do have another radiator bolt, so actually I need to go take care of this, but I'll do that in a second. Yeah, man, it's looking great. I wish this wasn't so close to the oil pan, but what can you do? I was wondering how they keep these moving around, right? And so there's these tabs for the springs that holds on to the flange. So we grabbed 2 of them. I think there's just one on each pipe. There's one. So there's one right there installed. Cool beans. And I don't know how the fuck we're gonna do the other side. I actually kind of wish I thought to look at this before I threw the radiator and stuff back on, but it's okay. I think we can still manage, so. Beautiful. All right, that second one back in there. Ooh, sorry, you can't see shit. The second one back in there was kind of a bitch, but it is doable. With everything, you know, installed, so don't be too freaked out. But yeah, all right, now we can work on the rest of the exhaust. I think for now we're gonna use the one that the Hindle comes with. For now, I might change my mind later, but the Spiderwood.
Cool. I might have just found a legitimate, ooh, my knees, dude. I might have just found a legitimate use for, what are these fucking things called? I don't know, somebody should remind me. That's gonna bother me till I remember. But I'm gonna clamp the clamp. I'm gonna clamp this closed because it's kind of a bitch. And I have a nut and a washer to get on there. So we're gonna do that and see how it works. And then we'll throw springs on. So yeah. Vice grips. They're called vice grips. No. Yeah, vice grips. Hell yeah. I knew I'd remember. It's on there. Just need to tighten it. Get it into a good spot. Get her tight. This is tight up here. Oh, nothing's touching, although that's a little close. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to mess with that a little bit, I think. I don't know if that's like too close. I guess we'll find out if it starts rubbing, but yeah, cool. I'm gonna tighten this up and then we'll throw the springs on. Springs on the muffler, one spring there, one spring on each header tube. And yeah, man, this thing looks sick, dude. It's looking good. I'm gonna get the tools up off the floor and then we need to call it a night because I gotta get to bed. But tomorrow we're gonna pick it back up. All right, guys, I'm back. It's the next day. It's been a long day taking care of other shit so that I could have time to deal with this thing. First things first, I did run to Ace Hardware. I got replacement bolts. Those are the stock ones. So I didn't record this because it's kind of dumb. It's just 2 bolts, but these are M8 by 1.25 by 20 mil length. So they fit perfect, and we got the covers on. So cool. They also match these bolts that came with the exhaust hanger. So that makes me happy that they're the same. But now it's time to move on to other things. And if you guys remember, I need to sand the corners here on both sides so that it's not rubbing up on the frame. So I'm gonna do that. And then we should be able to install this hopefully for the last time until we send this off to get painted. So actually, side note before I get started on that, the MIV just sold, so getting a little bit of money back for that. So cool thing is I'm really only about 150 bucks into the Hindle, so just glad it sold so fast. You know, it definitely helps me out a lot and also keeps the clutter out of here. So I'm gonna go dig out some sandpaper. All right, we got the bike outside. So the break-in period or process for this, and I should probably make sure that that's tight. Yeah, it feels tight. The break-in for this muffler is to let it idle for 15 minutes and then let it cool down for 15 minutes. And this is good for us anyways because I need to change the oil, so I'd like to get it circulating a little bit. Bike hasn't ran in a while, so. So I've been watching it. That fourth little bar just came up, so it started to get too hot. And the radiator fan is kicked on now. And it just came off. And then the bar went down, so that's good. I did notice that the back of the fan was touching the exhaust. I'm not sure if that's a just came up again. So it should go down in a second. The fan is running. Yep, there it is. Cool. So the cooling system is working, and obviously if this bike is running, it's going to be moving, so it shouldn't get as hot as it is now on the track. Hopefully, that's my hope. But yeah, everything looks to be good so far. It's definitely a little stressful, considering this is the most expensive track bike I've ever had. Well, it's only my second one, but still, it's, if I lit $10,000 on fire, it would hurt a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm gonna let the clock run out, and then I'm gonna clean the chain. I'm not gonna film that because it's boring, but clean the chain and then we'll roll it back inside and finish it up. All right, guys, check it out. The chain is clean, and it cleaned up very well, very nice. And I kind of knew it would, you know. It's not like the chain is old, and I didn't keep the bike outside, thankfully. Neither did the dealership that I got it from. So although it was dirty, it wasn't rusted, and it's not seized or anything like that. So the chain is good to go. One thing I did notice is that it's very, it's definitely too tight. That is a very tight chain. So we definitely need to fix that. But I'm probably gonna wait to fix that until we're at the track, because we're getting new tires on this thing anyway, so the wheel's gonna have to come off. So it doesn't really make much sense to adjust the chain now. So for now, it'll just be like that. But next up's an oil change, oil and filter. And I'm not gonna film that either, just like the chain thing, it's just boring. But next thing you see should be us putting on the rest of the body work. And then this bike will be done minus the controls, which we're also gonna fix tonight. So we're on a mission tonight. I also just cleaned the chain of that bike, and that one's also getting an oil change. So I think we're good. It's still gonna be pretty close to the exhaust, but definitely not like it was with the MIV. So I think the game plan here is I'm gonna measure this and do some hillbilly math, and we're gonna drill some holes for the Deez's fasteners. Let's get these suckers on there. One of them in. By the way, you get little black washers on these. Well, it's not perfect, but not too bad either. All right, 109 millimeter, cool. Make sure you lock it so it doesn't move. Same thing on this side for the most part. It's gonna be a little different, but nothing too crazy, you know? So, right about there, right there. We're not totally fucking this up, but as long as it looks even to the naked eye, I think we'll be okay. There we go. All right. I think this will too, just barely. Perfect. All right, well. All right, guys, well, here it is, completed. Wow, that looks good. This is the only part that's a little less than ideal, but honestly, that's not gonna bother me too much, but. All right, guys, so I think I'm gonna leave off phase 4 here. We have the bodywork on, we got the new exhaust, everything is good. Just need to do a couple little things to button this bike up, so. I'm gonna move this mount to here, and hopefully that makes the fitment for the master a little better, and then hopefully I won't have to trim the brake hose because I don't want to bleed the brakes again. But all this stuff is still loose, so that needs to get tightened. I believe on this side it's tight. Well, this is the only thing that's loose. But I need to figure out the clearance for this because it's touching this thing, so that's a problem. I need to do the oil. The oil change is done, but I think I slightly overfilled it, so I might need to take care of that. We're gonna wait till tomorrow when I can actually run the bike because it's pretty dark and late here. So I need to run the bike for about 5 minutes, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then check the oil. I only did a minute when I checked it this time, and so yeah. But overall, very happy with it. It looks great. There's just, you know, a couple little fitment things, like this is kind of janky, and yeah, the gaps don't match. See how wide this gap is here, and then how not wide the gap is here. So there's that, but I think that's caused by this. So Ghetto Customs, very nice bodywork. It definitely looks the best. The fitment's not perfect, but that's typical for race bodywork. You know, this is a race bike. It's fine. It's probably going to be laid down at some point. Definitely not looking for perfection. But I think all this will look better when it's painted too, and maybe when this heats up from literally touching the GB covers here, it'll kind of, you know, push out a little. I'm not holding my breath, but yeah. We still have a lot of work to do to this bike, don't get it twisted, but I think for Jennings this is going to be just fine. It's rideable. The chain is clean, lubed, fresh oil. The bodywork is on, minus these. But yeah, don't expect perfect fitment. Like this doesn't line up either. It's like a little bit crooked, but it's like they say, race bike. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I need to go get some food. I need a shower. It's 8:30. I still have to change the oil on the Gixxer. I'm gonna try to get all this shit done tonight because I don't really have time, to be honest with you, until Jennings. This is kind of my only free weekend to do the work. So, but like, comment, subscribe if you can, or if you enjoy it. It helps me out a lot. I appreciate everything, even the comments. So I'll see you guys next time.